sort of getting her feet wet and doing some of the sort of bookkeeping and preparatory work that she needs to get started.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, we saw her show up on Slack today, so it was good.
Yeah.
So that's great. She seems excited. All right. I think we have a quorum then. Hi, Vijaya. Why don't we get rolling then? So we'll just do a stand up, and then if there's anything coming out we want to talk about in addition to that, we'll do that after this. So Vijay, do you want to go ahead first?
Yeah, I can. I finished my job seeker template. The template is creating. I verified. I'll create the PR on that one. I have one question. Date, I did not set any data for that one.
Okay, so you have a PR though?
Yeah.
Is your question in the PR, or do you want to discuss it after the stand-up?
After this.
After the stand-up?
After this stand-up.
Okay, we'll take a look then.
Yeah.
All right, good enough. All right, anything else, Vijay?
No, that is the one.
All right, cool. Sage, do you want to just give a quick update on what's going on with you?
Sure. So I set up a waffle board for the project yesterday, for the dashboard project, and I started trying to at least populate it a little bit so that it could be a good starting point for sort of Agile Ventures folks getting involved. So I put some tasks that I thought would be like good places to start, that are meaningful tasks, that are like bugs, but are not like sort of huge sprawling things that involve too much like familiarity with how the whole app works. And was really impressed with Waffle.io. And then I also switched over to Yarn from NPM for like managing dependencies yesterday in the app, which should be sort of another thing that makes it a little easier to reliably set up a development environment. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's great. Good to hear about Waffle. In terms of Yarn, you probably didn't get a chance to update the project setup instructions on the wiki yet?
I did, actually.
Oh, you're actually... Wow. One-stop shop for everything. That's great.
I mean, in terms of the different instructions, it's almost identical. You just install Yarn first through NPM, and then instead of doing NPM install, you do Yarn install. But it's much more deterministic than relying on like the NPM shrink wrap files for reasons that I don't entirely understand. But it's basically designed more along the lines of like bundler and gem file locks. Oh, Sejal's here. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Sejal.
So yeah. It's like something that even the NPM folks seem to think is like a good idea for how you ought to manage your dependencies if you're doing like a front end project with them instead of like a node server project.
Okay, I'll update my environment to install Yarn. I keep NPM installed though then, huh?
Yeah, that's right. You can install Yarn via NPM, and then you just do, and then when you actually want to like build your node modules folder, you just use Yarn instead of NPM install.
But I still want to keep NPM installed once I get Yarn installed for other purposes. Okay, all right, good enough. Great. So we're just quickly going through a very short stand-up or Scrum session. Everybody's going through what they've been doing over the last day. Talk a little bit about maybe what you're going to be doing coming up and whether you have any blockers to getting work done. That's typical Scrum questions that we answer. So how are you doing? You want to just give us a status update? Sejal?
Oh, yeah, so...
I mangled your name, so you didn't know I was talking to you.
Yeah. So it's the beginning for me, and I have just started. So these 2 days have just been collaborating, like the collaborating phase for me, joining groups and being part of Agile Ventures, and then joining Wiki Edu dashboard channel at Slack, and basically connecting to people. And then like just now I started like working on the actual implementation part. So I can't talk much about that because I've just started. So maybe next term I'll be able to let you guys know that what I have done. Up till now, like to get this, to get started, to get this internship, I had done my initial micro task. That is where I created a basic page where users can it's a general page. Anybody can just pop in and see what you are doing, what courses are you a part of, and as an instructor or as a student. So basically, like opening up, uh, before the dashboard was just a personal experience. No third person could have opened your page and see what you are doing, and so yeah, that is what we are doing now, so that anybody like third party can come and see what you are contributing to, and yeah, that will make you contribute more. So that is what I'm working on. Yeah, that's on my part, and it's great to be here. This is my first stand-up meeting. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, glad you're on board. And also, Vijay, who's also on this call, and myself, my name's Patrick. We're both very, very new to the Wiki EDU dashboard project. We can spell it, but that's about it. So we're all learning together. Sage put a link to, I think, the page that you had developed in the chat for this Slack, for this Hangout. So we're looking at it right now. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, good start. All right, great. See, for myself then, what have I been doing today? We had our Martin Fowler Scrum this morning, 6:30 my time. We had a client meeting on the Met Plus project, just finished. It started about 12:30, about an hour and a half ago. So I did some preparation for that as well, to demo to the client. I had a pair programming session with Sigu, who's in Kenya. He's working on the Met Plus project. He's interesting guy. He's actually has a code camp there that he's running. This is his second cohort through it, and he wants to learn more Rails and more Ruby, etc. So he's actually participating on the Met Plus project and doing stories for us to learn more. But he's got a 13-week code camp going, and he just jumped in. He's the only guy driving the whole thing. He's the only instructor, and I give him credit for that. So a lot of effort on his part to get Kenya and Kenyan folks trained up on this stuff. So we're supporting them as much as we can. I also did a pair programming with Susanna. She's on the SHF project that's out of Sweden. It has to do with ethical dog organization, ethical dog industry organization, and that's pretty much all I know at this point. But it's all about dogs. And so she's got a project that she's working on, and I think she needs some help. So I've been trying to reach in there and help her a little bit as well. And that's it. So a little bit of everything today for me. And that's it for me. I don't have any blockers, and we'll call that a Scrum then. So Michael, did you want to mention anything, or just continue to listen, and that's okay if you don't have any update or anything you want to share?
No, this time I'll be in listening mode if that's okay. And
Absolutely.
Next time I'll.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Okay, so we'll call the Scrum ended now. Does anybody else have anything we want to talk about? Okay. I guess tomorrow we'll spend more time on the Wiki EDU project. It sounds like we'll have a waffle board or a project storyboard to look at, which would be cool, and maybe start talking about taking stories. And maybe at some point, maybe early next week, starting to carve out. What's your thought, Sage, on sprints? Do sprints have provide a good cadence, kind of a heartbeat to a project? And I don't know, you think of it like a week or 2 week sprints?
I think sprints would be great. And I'm happy to defer to your judgment on what you think sort of makes sense for like the setup that we've got going here with the sort of like ad hoc teams. But like a week or 2 weeks or whatever you think makes sense is I'm happy to try out.
Okay, I'm thinking maybe a week until, because we're going to be doing simpler stories, and hopefully most stories should be doable within a sprint. That's one of the ways to think about sprint. And most of the stories we'd be working on initially, at least me, would be simple enough to be doable within a week. And generally, they're also paced by how often you want to meet with the client. And typically, clients like to meet every 2 weeks rather than every week. But you're the client, so you're continuously on board anyway. So that's not a factor. So maybe a week long.
So so like tomorrow, like after the Scrum, would be a good time to do that.
Yeah, we absolutely could start tomorrow. Sure.
Great.
So we kind of figure out a little. We take a very silly, wild ass guess, of course, as to how much we can get done in a week, given that this team's just coming together now and everybody's new. And then based upon that, we vote on stories. Well, we vote on stories in terms of level of effort. We estimate the total number of points we can solve in a week, and then we construct the sprint backlog based on that and see how well we do.
Sounds great.
Yeah, should be fun. All right. I guess that's about it. Anybody else have anything?
Okay. I'll just share the view of the page which I had created.
Okay, sounds good, Sujal.
Okay.
You want to do that right now?
Wait a second. There's so much open. One second.
Sure. Takes a while to get used to the mechanics of Google Hangouts, but it's pretty straightforward once you do it a few times.
Okay, so this is the page I created.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, it mentions your role in that particular course. And now we are working on, so this same page in the future, after the project is done, will display the cumulative statistics of your contribution.
Yeah, that's nice. Good start.
Yeah.
You had to
That's
do
it.
that to get the internship, huh? That was your test?
Yeah, that was my test, and it was fun collaborating with Sage, and he was there to help me with all the like whatever doubts I had.
Thanks,
All right.
Angel.
Well, you passed. That's great. All right. Looking forward to working with you. Okay. Anybody else have anything? All right. I guess we'll call it a meeting then. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening, afternoon, what have you. Okay. Bye for now.